Shocking Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa Enrage as Paul Heyman sets up Jey Uso. The WWE Universe has been rocked to its core by a shocking moment that will be remembered for years. A seismic event in the Bloodline saga unfolded right before our eyes, sending shockwaves through the locker room and the entire WWE landscape. This isn't just another twist in the Bloodline story, this is the moment when everything began to unravel. The tension that has been brewing between Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, and Jey Uso reached a boiling point, leading to a confrontation that has forever altered the course of WWE. For months, fans have been on the edge of their seats, wondering how long it would take before the fractured relationship between Roman and Jey would boil over. Ever since Jey Uso walked away from Roman's grasp, rejecting the tyrannical rule of his cousin and the Bloodline, there was a sense that this moment was inevitable. But no one, not a single soul in the WWE Universe, could have predicted that Paul Heyman, the so-called wise man, the master strategist behind Roman's dominance, would be the one to light the fuse. What began as a simple backstage interaction escalated into one of the most intense, jaw-dropping moments in WWE history. This script will take you through the entire sequence of events, break down the shocking confrontation, analyze the implications for Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, and dive into what's next for Jey Uso. Brace yourselves, because what you are about to witness is pure drama in the making. The calm before the storm. The tension between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso had been simmering for months. After Jey walked out on the Bloodline, he had been trying to rebuild his career, attempting to carve out his own path in WWE. Fans watched as Jey distanced himself from the family and from Roman's oppressive rule. It wasn't an easy decision for Jey. After all, the Bloodline had been everything to him. But Jey could no longer stand by as Roman's dictatorship took hold, casting a shadow over his every move. For weeks, Jey had been walking his own path, trying to forge new alliances, trying to prove that he didn't need Roman or the Bloodline to succeed. Meanwhile, Roman and Solo Sikoa had been tightening their grip on WWE, with Roman continuing to dominate as the undisputed Universal Champion. But no matter how much time passed, the question remained, how long could Jey stay free of the Bloodline's influence? Roman, Solo, and Paul Heyman had made it clear that Jey would always be part of the Bloodline, whether he liked it or not. And the day came when Jey would have to face the consequences of walking away. The encounter, Heyman strikes. The scene was set backstage at a WWE event. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation as Jey Uso, in his street clothes, walked down the hallway, carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. His expression was unreadable, a mixture of frustration, determination, and weariness. Jey had been through so much. The stress of being torn between family loyalty and his desire for independence had clearly taken a toll on him. But he wasn't backing down. Jey had found his voice, and he wasn't afraid to use it. It was in this moment, when the air was thick with tension, that Paul Heyman appeared out of nowhere. The wise man, the strategist who had masterminded Roman's reign of terror, stepped out from the shadows with a cold and calculated look on his face. The moment was electric, as the cameras caught every second of the unfolding drama. Without hesitation, Paul Heyman approached Jey, his steps purposeful and menacing. He squared up to Jey, locking eyes with him as the atmosphere crackled with tension. Heyman, usually known for his manipulative, silver-tongued ways, was now showing a side that no one had ever seen before: aggression, anger, and a dangerous level of authority. "You think you can keep disrespecting this family?" Heyman spat, his voice dripping with venom. "You're done, Jey. You're nothing without the Bloodline. Nothing without Roman. You think walking away made you stronger? It made you a target." Jey stood his ground, but the weight of Heyman's words hung heavy in the air. The wise man wasn't just speaking for himself, he was speaking for Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. This was a message, a declaration of war. Jey's face remained stoic, but the intensity in his eyes was undeniable. He was no longer the young man who had been manipulated and controlled by Roman. He was standing tall, ready to fight for his freedom, his dignity, and his future. But what he didn't know was that this encounter was only the beginning of something much larger. This wasn't just a personal dispute, this was about power, control, and family loyalty. The fallout, Roman and Solo respond. As soon as Heyman's confrontation with Jey was over, the WWE Universe was left in shock. Jey had managed to hold his own, but the words spoken by Heyman were a direct challenge, one that was sure to provoke Roman and Solo. This wasn't just a minor disagreement, this was the beginning of the end for Jey Uso's rebellion against the Bloodline. Word of the backstage altercation spread like wildfire through the locker room. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, was furious. The Bloodline was his empire, and Jey's disobedience was a direct threat to that power. Roman had tolerated Jey's rebellion for too long, but now, the time for mercy had passed. The Bloodline needed to remind Jey just how insignificant he was without them. Solo Sikoa, Roman's enforcer, was also enraged by Jey's actions. Solo had always been the silent muscle of the Bloodline, ready to do Roman's bidding without question. But now, he was ready to take matters into his own hands. Roman may have been the head of the family, but Solo was the one who executed the orders, and he was more than eager to bring Jey back into the fold, by force if necessary. With the tension at its peak, the WWE Universe anxiously awaited the next move from the Bloodline. Would Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa take direct action against Jey, or would they let the chaos unfold in their own way? Whatever happened next, one thing was certain, the Bloodline was about to be tested like never before. Jey's resistance, a new chapter. Jey Uso wasn't backing down. The confrontation with Paul Heyman had only solidified his resolve to be free of the Bloodline's control. Jey had learned from his past mistakes and was now focused on carving his own legacy. But the question remained, could Jey truly escape the shadow of Roman Reigns? Could he survive without the protection and power of the Bloodline? As Roman and Solo plotted their next move, Jey began to build alliances of his own. He wasn't alone in his struggle. There were others in WWE who had witnessed the tyranny of Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. Jey could count on the support of those who had suffered under Roman's rule, and together, they might just be able to bring the empire down. But the odds were stacked against Jey. Roman was the most dominant force in WWE, and Solo Sikoa was a relentless enforcer. The Bloodline was a well-oiled machine, and it was only a matter of time before they closed in on Jey once again. What's next for the Bloodline? As the drama continues to unfold, the fate of Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, and the entire Bloodline remains uncertain. Will Jey manage to escape the clutches of the Bloodline once and for all? Or will Roman and Solo reclaim their lost family member, putting an end to Jey's rebellion in a brutal fashion? The WWE Universe is on the edge of its seat, waiting to see what happens next in this high-stakes saga. The Bloodline has already been shaken to its core, and no one knows what kind of damage will be done before this war reaches its inevitable conclusion. But one thing is for sure, the days of the Bloodline's dominance may be numbered. Roman, Solo, and Heyman have underestimated Jey Uso before, and this time, Jey might just be the one to turn the tables. The story of Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, and Jey Uso is far from over. What started as a family united by power and loyalty has now become a volatile powder keg, ready to explode at any moment. The betrayal, the tension, and the chaos are far from over, and the WWE Universe is holding its breath for what comes next. Stay tuned, because the Bloodline saga is about to take a turn that no one saw coming. The stage is set, the pieces are in motion, and it's only a matter of time before everything comes crashing down. And remember, when it comes to WWE, expect the unexpected. The battle for control of the Bloodline is far from over, and we're all watching it unfold in real time. If you thought tonight's story was wild, trust me, what happens next will blow your mind. So don't stop now. Click on the video right here on your screen to continue the chaos, the drama, and the inside scoop only we deliver. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and join the Wrestling News CC family, where the real stories of WWE come to life. See you in the next one.